as a child, who were you as a child growing up? What type of child were you? Were you a wayward child? Were you an academically astute child?
No way, I couldn't afford to be wayward because my mom was a teacher. And if you've grown up with teachers before, you know that there is only one way of doing things, their way. So it is their way on how you dress, their way on how you look, their way of when you should return from school, their way of what your grades should look like. So for me, it was not negotiable. And so I had grown up as a nerd and tied deeply into my books. I also had a bit of fun, but a teacher's kid is limited fun. You are usually playing within the confined space that you find yourself. Like we had strict periods where we couldn't step out beyond a certain time, and this was 4 p.m. By 4 p.m., you can't be out. You can't even be out of the house, but within the compound. By 4 p.m., you should have finished regular house chores, you should have finished homework if there's any, and you should be behind your book studying. So I grew up completely as a nerd, burying my head in books. I think that it got really escalated in terms of my academic behavior when I realized that among my siblings and among most people I find myself coming into contact with, I always felt slightly disadvantaged. I usually, it starts from my siblings, I'm the shortest. Everybody else is tall. If you see my kid brother now, like he looks elderly, more than me. Everybody in high school, everybody read business. I was the only one who read science. So I always felt I was different. Sometimes they were positive differences, and sometimes it looked like the difference were rather negative. And so for me, I had to find a way of compensating myself to say, okay, I also have something you don't have. And for me, that was then, okay, reviewing my own inner strength and saying, well, I have the ability to memorize. I have very good cognitive skill. And so when I read, when I go into academic, I'm able to perform well, better than the others. So I use academic work now as the leverage to compensate for the things that I felt I was missing on. So if I see you and I say, oh, you're taller than me, yeah, but I'm smarter than you. And then I get to, to develop my own, because then I realized at some point it was becoming an inferiority complex issue and I needed to fix a way around it. So that was how I grew up. I was known only for the books, all the way till end of high school, only for the books, nothing else.